An NFL mock draft is in itself an exercise in speculation. The bottom line is trying to pair teams with prospects they should be interested in taking, regardless of what their final selection will be. Adding mock trades to the process is a whole different story. The main goal is show what picks are most likely to change hands and what teams should be thinking most about moving up or down on the board during the first round. With that in mind and being aware of the draft trade value chart, here's Sporting News only mock draft with trades for 2021. The Jaguars won't even be tempted to trade down with this transcendent big-armed athletic passer sitting there to change the course of their franchise at the game's most important position. The Jets already are sitting on 2 first-round picks from the Jamal Adams trade, and the Sam Darnold trade sets them up take the second-best QB available after Lawrence. Barring a big change, New York should be locked into the accurate, arm-skilled and affable Wilson. Jones continues to be the leading candidate for the 49ers' certain QB selection as he best fits the profile of a Kyle Shanahan passer in a friendly offensive system. The 49ers also could think about North Dakota State's Trey Lance and Ohio State's Justin Fields, but based on the known variables, Jones still feels like the third QB off the board. The Broncos could worry about someone taking 2 quarterbacks before their initial turn at number 9 and can give up their second rounder, number 40 overall, to move up 5 big spots to make sure they get their QB of choice to upgrade from Drew Lock. The lean should be Fields because they would want to get him on the field right away versus the more developmental Lance. Fields would be served well by the structure and scheme of Denver's offense. It's time to look at a scenario where the Bengals go away from an offensive tackle and reunite Joe Burrow with his big-time target from 2019. Chase is a versatile big playmaker who profiles like a true number 1, and existing options T. Higgins, big possession, and Tyler Boyd, ace slot, would be great complements to him to raise the passing game for Burrow in year 2. The Dolphins would be fine with taking Chase for Tua Tagovailoa, but if it came down to 2 former teammates of their second-year QB, Waddle would seem to be the better fit with what they already have in Devontae Parker and tight end Mike Gesicki. They need to get more home run plays by both stretching the field and getting into open field, and Waddle can provide those elements better for them than Devonta Smith. The Lions, on the other hand, after cleaning house at wide receiver with Kenny Golladay, Giants, Marvin Jones Jr., Jaguars, and Danny Amendola, need a well-rounded, sure-handed, smooth route running number 1 for Jared Goff and any other near-future QBs. A trade down will be tempting, but should Chase and Waddle both go, staying and locking into Smith makes sense. Should the Falcons pass on Lance and the Broncos jump on Fields, that will facilitate the Patriots securing their QB future beyond bridge Cam Newton. They should target the Panthers should the Lance-enamored Falcons still loom at number 9. They also can make sure neither Washington nor the Bears execute their move-up plan instead. Lance can be developed well in the Patriots' adjusted dual-threat brand of offense, having the dynamic traits of a young Newton. The Falcons would love this scenario of moving down, adding a second-rounder to their haul and still getting the non-QB they most covet early. They might be comfortable with a luxury pick 5 spots later. Pitts can join Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley in boosting Matt Ryan in the intermediate passing game and become a featured red zone target playing off the run for new offensive-minded coach Arthur Smith. The Cowboys should be thinking offensive lineman or cornerback with this pick should the temptation of Pitts not be there. Sewell dropping would be a welcome surprise, much like wide receiver CeeDee Lamb a little later in 2020. Sewell could start on the right side or inside for them and make a big impact at first while he gets lined up to succeed aging left tackle Tyron Smith as a rock-solid run blocker and agile pass protector in a few seasons. The Giants go tackle again in the first round after landing Georgia's Andrew Thomas in 2020, but this time, they get a sturdy athlete who can better lock down the blindside for Daniel Jones at left tackle, while Thomas is pushed to the more comfortable run-blocking spot on the right side. The Eagles are a candidate to trade up for Pitts or catch a falling wide receiver, but they can't go wrong with the size and shutdown pedigree of Surtain to boost their secondary and help clean up their cornerback mess. the Chargers got busy with veteran additions for their offensive line overhaul. Corey Linsley, Matt Filer, and can consider Vera Tucker as an option to upgrade tackle. They also should be ready to take one of the top 2 offensive tackles or top 3 wide receivers if any of them fall. The Cardinals need a new big coverage ace for their secondary after moving on from Patrick Peterson and moving up a few spots to snag the shutdown potential of Farley to start opposite newcomer Malcolm Butler makes a lot of sense. The Panthers can still land a left tackle to replace Russell Okung by moving down 7 spots. There's some drop-off from Sewell, Slater and Vera Tucker, but Darisaw can do the job to boost Sam Darnold's protection. The Vikings need to think about reworking their linebacker core for Mike Zimmer with Anthony Barr around for only the short term. Parsons would give them fine rangy playmaking ability, making the trade down a couple spots well worth it. The Raiders need a run stopper with some strong coverage sensibilities for the second level. Owusu-Koroma fits their scheme well to flank Corey Littleton and Nick Kwiatkowski. The Dolphins need a versatile freak of a pass rusher to enhance Brian Flores' hybrid scheme. Here's back-to-back great defensive fits for teams. Washington will have its eyes on Darisaw, too, for left tackle, but won't be too upset by falling back on Toney to work as a big field stretcher from the slot, as he would be a big play supplement to speedsters Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel. The Bears are in the market for some kind of offensive line impact, and getting the prototypical right tackle to be a rock for the running game with a smooth enough frame for pass protection is a smart move should Toney not be available. The Colts lost Anthony Costanzo to retirement, and they should have confidence that the big, tall Cosmi can fill the void in the left tackle for a long time in the same way. The Bills get aggressive in giving up a third-rounder a little more to move up, knowing that a reliable workhorse running back to pound between the tackles and trust in the passing game is the missing ingredient to their dangerous offense with Josh Allen. They do it because the Jets and Steelers are strong options for Harris. The Jets need to rebuild their secondary with better size and range at cornerback, and Horn, the son of former NFL wide receiver Joe Horn, gives them a good blend of big play ability and sound coverage. The Buccaneers remain all in with their thinking in the quest to repeat as Super Bowl champions. They shouldn't mind working a deal with the Steelers, who should be more willing to move out of this pick should Jenkins, Harris and Horn be off the board. The Bucs can stash the active, quick disruptor Barmore as the successor to Ndamukong Suh, who's on another one-year deal at 34. The Jaguars will think about cornerback and defensive tackle here depending on how things play out in front of them, but they should feel strong about taking the best available pass rusher for their new defensive scheme. The Browns got Jadeveon Clowney late in free agency to help Myles Garrett, but could use a versatile second-level player who can handle himself well in coverage when needed and further raise their ability to get after quarterbacks. The Ravens should have their eyes on the 2 Hurricanes Phillips and Rousseau most in the first round because their pass rushing styles best fit their scheme. Rousseau has been working to hone his craft for the pro level with none other than current Baltimore edge force Calais Campbell, who also played at Miami. The Saints lost Trey Hendrickson opposite Cameron Jordan so they can replace him with a well-rounded 4-3 end for Dennis Allen. The Jets find that 2 first-rounders aren't enough for Joe Douglas, and they would like to tap into this impressive run of promising pass rushers. Oweh is a physical freak who can be molded into a highly productive player in Robert Saleh's 4-3. The Titans' reasoning for trading down was they could still find a viable right tackle and didn't need to force themselves into the pass rusher run. Mayfield, with the same college background as Taylor Lewin, can help the team better replace Jack Conklin, who left for the Browns last offseason. The Chiefs have some good depth at safety and look pretty good in the nickel package, but they could use better size and more reliable coverage and big play potential for the outside. Newsome is smart, instinctive and has a special nose for the ball. The Steelers should be thrilled to move down and still get a potential feature back who can bring some more dynamic elements to their passing game. Etienne isn't the same type of power back as Harris, but he can be effective in a much different way for an offense that needs short open field juice to help Ben Roethlisberger.